You are being disrespected right now. Not loudly, not obviously, quietly. In the way people respond to your texts, in the way they react when you speak in a room, in the way they show up or don't when you need something. And the part that is going to hit hardest in this video is not the disrespect itself. It is this: you are the one who taught them to do it. Not on purpose, not because you are weak, because you have been sending signals, 7 specific signals, that train the people around you to value you less. And until you can see those signals clearly, you will keep sending them, and the respect will keep bleeding out. By the end of this video, you will see all 7, and you will understand something about how respect actually works that most men spend their entire lives never figuring out. Stay with this one. This one starts subtly, so subtly that most men explain it away. You finish a sentence and someone immediately changes the subject. You share an opinion in a group and it just disappears. No response, no pushback, nothing. Then someone else says the exact same thing 2 minutes later, and suddenly everyone is nodding. That is not a coincidence. That is a signal. The people around you are communicating something without words, that your voice has lost weight in the room. Here is why this happens. It is not about what you say, it is about the energy behind how you say it. Think about the men whose words naturally stop a room. They do not rush. They do not overqualify. They do not pre-apologize with phrases like, "I don't know, maybe I'm wrong," but they speak from settled ground. They say what they mean. Then they stop. That quality, calm, unhurried certainty is what makes people lean in. The moment your words carry a hidden question mark at the end, the moment people sense that you're not sure you're allowed to have the opinion you just stated, they respond by giving your words less gravity. Less gravity becomes no gravity. And that is when the interrupting starts. That is when people talk over you without thinking twice. Not because they are cruel, because you have trained them without knowing it to believe that what you're saying can wait. Your words should not feel like they are asking for permission to exist. Once you understand this dynamic, you will never unsee it. Testing happens everywhere. A colleague makes a slightly cutting comment and laughs it off. A friend crosses a line and watches how you handle it. Someone publicly dismisses your idea to see if you will defend it or fold. Most of these are not calculated. People are not sitting at home plotting against you. But at a subconscious level, every person around you is constantly reading one thing. Does this man's no actually mean no? Does he stay grounded when someone pushes? Or does he immediately adjust himself to keep the peace? The men who fail these tests are almost always the men trying hardest to avoid conflict. And the instinct makes sense. Peace feels better than friction. But the cost is enormous. When you laugh at the joke that was actually aimed at you, you failed the test. When you let the dismissive comment slide because you do not want things to get awkward, you failed the test. When you defend yourself with apology instead of clarity, you failed the test. And every failure communicates the same thing: this man can be pushed. Once someone knows you can be pushed, they will keep pushing, not because they hate you, because you have shown them there are no real consequences. That is where quiet disrespect takes root. Not in one dramatic moment, in 100 small moments where you chose comfort over standards. If this is hitting close to home, if you are recognizing yourself in even one of these, subscribe to Stoic 95 right now. This channel is built specifically for men who want to understand how social dynamics, psychology, and self-respect actually work in the real world. Not theory, reality. Subscribe and stay with me. They cancel last minute with no real explanation. They are consistently late. They ask for your help, your energy, your advice, then disappear when you need something in return. They make commitments that evaporate the moment something more interesting comes along. If this is your reality, hear this clearly. People do not do this to men they genuinely respect. They do it to men whose time they have quietly decided is low value. And here's the brutal part: they learned that from you, not because you told them, because of what you tolerated. Every time you accepted a cancellation without saying a word, every time you rescheduled around someone who never once rescheduled around you, every time you stayed available for people who made themselves unavailable to you, you sent a signal. You taught them your time is flexible, your standards are soft. That access to you is unlimited and free. And people, almost universally, treat things that are free and unlimited as though they are worth nothing. Real respect has a cost. Not because you are transactional, but because men who genuinely value themselves protect their time. They hold their standards even when it creates friction. They are not available to everyone at all times for everything. That selectivity is what makes their presence feel like something worth earning. This one disguises itself as maturity. It is not over-explaining your decisions, is not emotional intelligence. It is a fear broadcast when you justify every choice as though someone demanded an answer. when you restate your point 3 times to make sure no one misunderstood, when you explain exactly why you said no in paragraph form, what people hear underneath all of that is not thoughtfulness. They hear, "I need you to approve of me." They hear, "I am not sure I am allowed to make this decision without your permission." And fear in social dynamics is something people sense before you ever finish speaking. It shifts the entire dynamic of an interaction. A man with genuine self-respect does not argue for his own choices. He makes them, states them simply, moves on. He is not waiting to find out if you're comfortable with his decision. He already is. The contrast between that man and a man who over-explains is enormous. One communicates authority. The other communicates that he is quietly asking for an approval he should never need. Say it once. Mean it. Stop talking. Write this one down. One short reply in a text message changes your entire mood. One person not acknowledging your effort leaves you unsettled for hours. One cold interaction sends you into a spiral. Did I say something wrong? Are they upset with me? Why are they acting differently? If your internal world is this reactive to what other people do or do not do, you have handed everyone around you enormous power over you, and people feel that power even when it is never spoken aloud. The man who goes quiet when you ignore him. The man who becomes anxious when you withdraw attention. The man who needs constant reassurance to feel steady. That man is extremely easy to influence, easy to manage. Easy to manage, easy to use. Because once someone realizes they can shift your internal state just by adjusting their behavior toward you, they will use it. Sometimes deliberately, more often just by instinct. Human beings move toward control, and a man whose emotions are an open lever is a man who can be moved without much effort at all. Your emotional steadiness is either your greatest signal of strength or your greatest vulnerability. There is no neutral ground. The discipline is not coldness. It is not indifference. It is the ability to let things land without letting them destabilize you, to observe what someone does without immediately being governed by it. That quality, that stillness under pressure, is one of the most powerful things another person can encounter in a man. Most men never develop it, because they were never taught to. This one is painful, and most good men get this one wrong for years. You are the one they call when they need advice, when they need help moving, when they need someone to listen at midnight. You are reliable, generous, available. And you may have mistaken all of that for respect. Now notice what happens when you need something. Does the same energy come back? Do they show up for you the way you show up for them? Do they treat your time and your limits with the same care you extend to them? Because there is a critical difference between being needed and being respected. And a lot of good men spend years being heavily needed and barely respected. Useful is not the same as valued. If you are endlessly available, endlessly giving, endlessly accommodating, you become a resource. And people use resources. They do not revere them. Respected men are not the most giving men in the room. They are the men whose presence communicates clearly that they are choosing to be here, not that they are simply always here by default. Their time feels like something you earn access to. Their energy feels like it has standards. That is what makes it mean something when they show up. This is the most dangerous one, and almost nobody talks about it directly. You send the follow-up text when no one replied. You soften your message when tension starts to build. You rush to fix an awkward moment before it has even settled. You apologize when you're not sure you did anything wrong, just to restore warmth. You fill every silence because silence feels like rejection, and rejection feels unbearable. And every single time you do any of those things, you reveal something about where your peace lives. You reveal that your internal comfort depends on external response, that you cannot sit in uncertainty without reaching out to resolve it. That silence, for you, is something that must be escaped rather than endured. Here is what is brutal about that. The people around you learn this. They learn that if they go quiet, you will come to them. They learn that withholding attention is a lever they can pull. They learn that silence is the easiest tool in the world to use on you, because you cannot tolerate it. And in that dynamic, you have given them everything. The person who cannot survive silence becomes the person who can be controlled by it. Strength does not chase reassurance. It does not rush to repair what someone else deliberately left broken. It sends one message, then waits. It holds the silence without filling it. It lets the tension exist because it understands something clearly. My worth is not determined by how fast someone responds. That is the version of strength that commands respect without asking for it. 7 signs. And every single one of them is fixable. Not by working harder, not by giving more, by becoming harder to move, by becoming a man whose standards do not renegotiate under pressure, whose inner world does not require constant input from the outside to stay steady. Who speaks without rushing, holds limits without apologizing, sits in silence without reaching. Every time you do any of those things, even once, you're building something. A quality of presence that does not need to announce itself, that exists even when you're not in the room. That is what real respect looks like, and that is what it is built from. Look at those 7 signs honestly, not defensively. Not to punish yourself, to see clearly. Which one hit closest to home? Drop the number in the comments, just the number. Or say exactly what you recognized, and if this video gave you something real, share it with one man who needs it. Not every man is going to seek this out, but the ones who are ready, this is exactly what they need to hear. That is what Stoic 95 is here for.